Okay, you guys could be interacting with a Taurus right now, but that's the other low bar of what's important here with what Taurus has to say. Taurus is actually your second house if you're going by equal house system and by your sun or rising placement. The moon, not so much. Okay, but if we were to look at this as an equal house system thing for Aries risings and Aries suns, this would suggest this has to do with your self-worth, your value systems, your self-respect, your consistency, or your consistency and reliability. This doesn't mean like necessarily reliability for you. This could have to do with what you decide, what you want, or what you cherish and value very much in another person. So Taurus energy too could indicate, yes, comfort, a place of zen and peace. Usually, this is a very like harvesting kind of energy. So not harvesting necessarily. That's more Virgo because that's fall. But Taurus energy is the Empress energy, right? This is the utopia. This is the lavish abundance. But I feel like you have a very business mindset at this moment. You're looking at things from a very practical lens, from a very earth lens. You're not necessarily interested in being very emotional. You're actually trying to channel a lot of your energy into a very practical way of being. In this sense, doesn't have to just do with being work. This could also do with relationships, being more serious, feeling more ready for settling, if that makes sense, settling down, if that makes sense. So there is something here, very fixed energy about you this time around. So let's see what the reading would first say. Damn. But the fact of the matter is this, too, family, is that y'all have the King of Pentacles as the heart of your reading. Okay, if I didn't say business minded or feeling more wanting to be more settled in a relationship or more like grounded in a relationship, then fuck, I don't know. So the situation here with the Devil energy is definitely coming up. I think you're recognizing a lot of patterns and behaviors that are holding you back, right? That some things that you're doing for yourself that may not be advancing you forward. So very bluntly, very directly, as you guys usually, express the energy of yours, you're done with it. You're not interested in that. You're not interested in dealing with a certain way of being. You're working on changing that. Not for anyone but yourself, right? You're looking to advance yourself. And yes, it just may be to do with, you getting out of the rut so that way you can have what you want, maybe be in a relationship. But the Devil would suggest that you're in a place where it only provides temporary relief and not consistent and sustained relief, all right? Long term. This is very short term that the Devil can offer. Not saying that it's bad or anything, but you're ready for something a little bit more consistent, more present, if that makes sense. You're no longer interested in small temporary happiness. You're wanting the real thing. So I think it's pretty awesome. Why do we have that coming up? Because of the Nine of Cups. You know what you want, guys. You know what you want, and you want it so much that this is no longer an option. So not only do you know what you want, and not only are you content with yourself because of you being able to know what you want, you're ready to kind of set aside whatever the Devil energy is. So the focus is what has been holding you back. What things have you been using necessarily as a crutch to prevent you from moving forward? Or what patterns have you noticed about yourself that you can do without and be just okay? All right. So it's Capricorn. What has power over you at this point? Now, this could also do with the relationship. Maybe you guys feel like you guys are in a relationship that doesn't necessarily see eye to eye. Maybe there's not necessarily a lot of healthy things going on in the relationship. There may be a lot of, a lot of fantasy, a lot of great things in the moment, or sometimes really like depending on the situation, it'd be great. But then it kind of goes back to being sour. Maybe you take care of more people, take care of your partner more than the other, or vice versa for those of you that are cross-watching. Maybe there's a codependent undertone to this relationship and you want to get rid of it. There's something that you really want to get rid of. You're done with it. Okay? Now, the heart of your reading is the King of Pentacles. And it's interesting because Pisces had the King of Wands as the heart of the reading. And they had this come out. It's the first cards that flew out of the deck before I even got a chance to even really shuffle for their reading. The Five of Pentacles would suggest, being as a crossing energy, is that whatever needs to go hasn't gone yet. At least in my eyes, it hasn't. It's like, you know what being sustainable looks like and feels like, and your goal and your heart's intention is to go ahead and be this person that you can rely on, not just for yourself, but for for other people to truly rely on. But I feel like too, you want to feel good about who you are. You want to feel like you're holding down the fort. You have a certain perspective in regards to how you want either your future self to be and your future relationships to be, or how you want to have your career go. But the Five of Cups would suggest there's something that needs to be gone in the process. The focus of yours is desired to be changed. Like, you are wanting to change your focus away from what you don't have. Because I think you've also realized that whatever you don't have, you can acquire. That's what I love. So Aries, your mindsets are changing, and you're definitely going in a really, really strong direction. And you're no longer letting what you don't have keep you from being what you want to be. So in that regard, we have the Two of Wands in the past. So this would suggest that you were caught at a crossroads and you were trying to figure out what exactly you wanted to do. How do you want to move forward? Where did you want to progress forward in? And I feel like the fact that this person here has a globe in his hand would suggest that he has plenty of options and he's aware of this. He's aware that he can have and go and get all the information that he needs wherever he goes. It's just about where he wants to start. So I feel like in the past you had a decision where you felt led to go in a direction that would benefit the intention of which you were trying to manifest, or whatever goal that you have in mind for your personal life. You had a decision to make of where to start, and you'd already started, and you started through making friends. Very Libra season of you, but you see the value in the benefits of having friends, of having people in your close-knit groups, or getting more in touch with the people that are around you. So the Three of Cups here is almost suggesting that when you're looking at something that you don't have, but you could do it by interpersonal relationships, you can actually increase your amount of friends, especially ones that are lost, or the ones that or relationships that you feel like you're lacking. You can strengthen that by being present, by doing what you have, or doing what you know, or working with what you have. Okay. Yes, working with what you have. So you have the Three of Cups, right? The connecting with people. Now, the hardest part is this. Okay? The hardest part is going to be that. The reason why is because you didn't just lose this. You don't just not have this. You lost this. So I think in one period in time in the past, you did have friendships. You did have connections that were not necessarily romantic or necessarily too personal and too intimate, but you had a group of people that you could trust. These people either betrayed you, broke your heart, made you feel like you couldn't necessarily have this, but you know very damn well and sure that you definitely can. It just requires stronger boundaries that the King of Pentacles will always create for himself, because he sees the value in himself and his relationships. So you know that this situation here with the Five of Cups, you know that this situation has happened, but you can strengthen this. You can strengthen and have a better relationship with people by not only seeing what caused this to happen, but understanding that your value is so important. Knowing yourself, having self-respect, and having a better self-esteem. That is so important when it comes to connecting with people, because then they will be truly your friends, because you can be you no matter what, and without judgment, without any sort of extra stuff. And you don't ever have to give of yourself not necessarily. You can always connect yourself with great people, but you don't have to do favors or to do things to sway someone to be your friend. I don't think you've ever done this, but for those of you that might have with an aspecting planet, maybe somewhere in Virgo, or perhaps in Cancer, or even Libra per se, you don't if you have this happening, you may be feeling like you always end up connecting with people that need something from you, and your friends are only people that need something from you rather than people that want to be around you. So I think for those people that have those moons there, this may reign more true than any other placement. But I feel like for those of you that may not have been giving of themselves either, the situation with friendships that may not have been very healthy, which suggests a toxic relationship between friendships or whatever, like you're noticing that your connections were not healthy because the connection with yourself hasn't been very healthy, and you're strengthening that now. You're creating better boundaries, creating better habits for yourself, and you're doing things a lot more positively and a lot more progressive that will eventually lead you to more healthier relationships. What you're doing is running toward your fear instead of running away from it, or trying to find alternative ways to overcome the Three of Swords, which the pains and the sadness, or the hurts from the past you haven't truly been over, you haven't gotten over yet. Some of you guys have been like, yeah, this doesn't bug me anymore, but in a way it does affect how you live your life, right? You do live based off of this Three of Swords sometimes. Like, for instance, like maybe this doesn't affect you on day to day anymore, you don't necessarily care, but what this would suggest too is that you also no longer care about having friendships. You no longer try to reach out and do any of that. So where you may not let that bother you, maybe this pain or emotion is gone, there is always this like conscientious reminder of why you may not have what you feel like is missing. So what will you attract? You will attract friendships. You'll attract people with the same like minds. And they may not be exactly the same. They may not be all the same, but everybody's raising their cup up. Everybody's celebrating. Everybody's excited and happy, but they have a lot of things in common that they're celebrating with. They don't have to have the same things to be to be significant to you. But I do feel like what you feel like you lost, you can have, or you already have. So what is it that you truly are missing? Because the Five of Cups would suggest that you don't have it. Some of you guys may, believe it or not, I may have been reading, there may be another way of reading this that I actually didn't consider. Perhaps the Five of Cups is suggesting that, yes, you are of value to yourself, you're aware of your worth, you're aware of what you would not necessarily have to offer to someone else, but you're aware of the value of being someone's friend. You're very aware of what you bring to the table, not just for yourself, but what you can, what personally you can provide for somebody in a relationship. Again, this is not to say that you should go out to find friends to give or to be of service to them, but you as a person being yourself, authentic, not giving anything other than who you are to people, that is a gift in itself. So you are noticing yourself as a gift, and I feel like what you believe is that you don't have, you actually do have. But you just, perhaps the situation is that you may not have an abundance of friends, but you have someone that's around you that does see you as someone as their equal, and they want to work with you. And that's what this Three of Cups is. So I feel like right now, what you don't have is really what you do have. And right now, it's just working away from the behaviors or patterns and sequences where it's commonly used to sedate or to make you feel better for a temporary time. Whatever this devil energy is for you is breaking free from that pattern. So to be able to work on what you do have, because you do have this. But I do feel like it's gone through a lot of crap. So you feel like maybe the support may not be there, but the support is. It's suggesting it is. It's suggesting this now. Some of you guys may be recognizing that your friendships are fake, though. Some of you guys may be recognizing that the people here are not really your friend. There may be one other person that is your true friends, but between the other two, the one of them is not on your side. It could be that too, but that's very rare that I really read it like that. But I do feel like there's something that you believe is missing, but it's actually not gone. It's not actually anywhere. And you, instead of letting this be the focus of how you proceed forward, you work on what you have. You work on building the relationships that you have and strengthening them to the best of your ability. You're focusing on what you value and making sure that that is there in the relationships that you have, rather than trying to make a relationship work. You're doing what you want to do, and you're fully surrounding yourself with people that see your value. I think it's freaking awesome. So with the Three of Swords here, yes, the pain is still there, or the issues surrounding relationships or groups of people or internet circles, that is there. But you are conscientious of it, though. You are now aware of it, and you're no longer oblivious to it, and you're no longer sedating something that you believed doesn't exist. You are aware that this is not You're aware that this is not fully over, if you fully overcome it, but you are ready to start working on this. You're ready to work on this. You're ready to put your effort toward it and to heal from this. And again, this is not like, this is not like this is your fault and you're not really ready to look at this. This is actually pain that's been really hurt you. And this could suggest that you are not letting this pain rule you anymore. You have better things that you have in mind. You have bigger journeys, bigger goals, bigger things to tackle, and this is in your way. And you're wanting to overcome this so you can no longer have this situation hold you back, because how you progress forward, how you better yourself, and how you have richer relationships is by no longer seeing it through the lens of potential pain, because your boundaries are up. You have stronger boundaries. So you're probably no longer messing with people, and you're no longer letting people just kind of do whatever they want to do and just kind of letting it go. You're not letting it fly anymore. You have certain boundaries now that you're putting up, because you need, if people are really going to be your friend, if people are going to really respect you, they have to respect your boundaries that you put in place. So I think all this has to do with better boundaries and recognizing your self-worth, which is very, very good.